Hello students, I am Toton Ghosh. I am an English tutor. I live at BARDHAMAN in West Bengal. If you want to contact me, you can contact me through this email ID totonghoshacademy@gmail.com. totonghoshacademy@gmail.com. Are you looking for a competitive English teacher? So you can contact me through this email ID. I give special focus on English grammar and writing skill. So now let's get to the topic. At first, let me summarize the poem The Night of the Scorpion by Nissim Ezekiel. The Night of the Scorpion is a look at the superstitions of another time and the common humanity that unites all of us throughout the ages. The Night of the Scorpion is an 8-stanza poem, each stanza of which contains between 3 and 8 lines. This is one of Ezekiel's first poems. It was first anthologized in Collected Poems between 1952 to 1988. The poem is free verse, meaning it does not contain a rhyme scheme. This choice adds to the seriousness of the poem's subject matter and the deadly nature of the story Ezekiel tells. The Night of the Scorpion is the story of one night in which the mother of the speaker is stung by a poisonous scorpion. She suffers for 20 hours, while peasants, holy men, and her husband attempt to heal her, to cure her. They try curses, blessings, prayers, herbs, and all forms of ancient medicine that are not practiced in most of the modern world. Their efforts are in vain. A sense of otherworldliness is created by the beliefs and practices of these peasants in comparison to the world in which the reader is existing. A barrier is put up. This barrier is torn down as the poem concludes and the reader realizes how similar they are to the characters in the poem, united by their common humanity. The poem Night of the Scorpion is about an incident that the poet has not forgotten in his life. It was a night when a scorpion beat his mother and all the superstitious villagers did irrational things rather than helping her. The poem exposes the superstitions that dominate the minds of Indians and also the motherhood of a lady who just only of her children, even in the worst condition. The poem has no rhyme scheme. It has 8 stanzas with a different number of lines in each. Now let me recite the first stanza of the poem. I remember the night my mother was stung by a scorpion. 10 hours of steady rain had driven him to crawl beneath a sack of rice. Now let me paraphrase the first stanza of the poem. The poet says that he remembers well that night when her mother was stung by a scorpion. The poet is of the views that heavy rain, which lasted for 10 hours, made the scorpion crawl beneath a sack of rice. The last phrase shows the poet's sympathy towards the scorpion. Now let me recite the second stanza of the poem. Parting with his poison flash of diabolic tale, in the dark room he risked the rain again. In the second stanza, the poet says that after beating his mother, With its diabolic, means monstrous tail, the scorpion went back to reign outside again. The poet here shows sympathy as well as anger towards the scorpion. He is angry when he talks about its beating and sympathetic when he talks about its going to rain again. Now let me recite the third stanza of the poem. The peasants came like swarms of flies and buzzed the name of God as 100 times to paralyze the evil one. In the third stanza, hearing about the incident, the villagers rush to the poet's home. However, he is not happy with them and calls them swarms of flies who buzz the name of God 100 times to paralyze the evil one. Now let me recite the fourth stanza of the poem. With candles and with lanterns, throwing giant scorpion shadows on the mud-baked walls, they searched for him. He was not found. They clicked their tongues with every movement that the scorpion made his poison moved. In mother's blood, they said. In the fourth stanza, the poet explains how the villagers searched for the scorpion. According to him, the villagers began searching for the scorpion, and their shadows themselves seemed to be like a giant scorpion on the mud-baked walls. The villagers begin searching for the scorpion because they believe that the poison spreads across the body with the movement of scorpion. So if the latter is stopped and paralyzed, the poison effect can also be controlled. This is a superstition and Nissim knows that well. This is why he hates the coming of villagers to his home. The stanza also depicts the Indianness that prevails in a number of other poems as well. Now let me recite the fifth stanza of the poem. May he sit still, they said. May the sins of your previous birth be burnt away tonight, they said. May your suffering decrease the misfortune of your next birth, they said. May the sun of all evil balanced in this unreal world against the sum of good become diminished by your pain. In the fifth stanza, having failed in finding the scorpion, they begin giving their own interpretation to the beating of the scorpion. Some of them say that his mother's sins, which she committed in her previous birth, as believed in Hinduism, have been forgiven. The others assumed that she is going to die and said that the pain that she is suffering from will decrease the troubles in her next birth. Some others put forward that her good deeds will be balanced against her bad deeds because of the bite of the scorpion. Now let me recite the sixth stanza of the poem. May the poison purify your flesh of desire and your spirit of ambition, they said, and they sat around on the floor, with my mother in the center, the peace of understanding on each face. In the sixth stanza, some others said that the poison will purify and repress her flesh of desire and her spirit of ambition. All of them seemed to be in peace because of their thoughts. Now let me recite the seventh stanza of the poem. More candles, more lanterns, more neighbors, more insects, and the endless rain. My mother twisted through and through, groaning on a mat. My father, sceptic, rationalistic, trying every curse and blessing, powder, mixture, herb, and hybrid. He even poured a little paraffin upon the beaten toe and put a match to it. I watched the flame feeding on my mother. I watched the holy man perform his rites to tame the poison with an incantation. After 20 hours, it lost its sting. In the seventh stanza, more and more people come with candles and lanterns. His mother is, however, crying and rolling on the mat with severe pain, but nobody cares for her except for his father, who is a sceptic rationalist. He leaves no stone unturned to cure her. He uses powder, mixture, herb, and hybrid to help her recover from the pain. He even poured a little paraffin upon the beaten toe and then fires it up. The poet watches the flame of fire burning on the skin of his mother. He also watches the holy man perform his rites to tame the poison with an incantation. The phrase again refers to superstitions or superstitious people of his village who believe in irrational measures to cure a person. His mother ultimately recovers from the poison after 24 hours. Now let me recite the 8th stanza of the poem. This is the last stanza of the poem. My mother only said, "Thank God, the scorpion picked on me and spared my children." In the 8th stanza, the last line is quite emotional and heart-touching. It reflects the motherhood of a lady. The poet says that after recovery from the poison, his mother's words were, "Thank God the scorpion picked on me and spared my children." Even in such condition, his mother remains more concerned about the safety and health of her children. Now let me say something about the theme of the poem. Ezekiel narrates how the mother of the speaker is stung by poisonous scorpion. He juxtaposes the pain and horror of the event with a humorous portrayal of the attitudes of the simple and ignorant but concerned villagers. The poem depicts the supernatural elements that the villagers strongly believe. We come across some irrational beliefs that are prevalent in rural society, such as the movement of the scorpion would speed up the movement of the poison in the body of his mother. It also highlights the villagers' concern about even a small incident like a scorpion bite in the neighborhood. It also shows the affection that a mother has for her children and the pain that she suffers in silence as it ensures the safety of her children. Now let me analyze the poem. Night of the Scorpion is a free verse poem with 8 stanzas and a total of 47 lines. There is no set rhyme scheme. The meter is mixed. The scorpion is seen by some as an evil force, bringer of pain and hardship and even death. Note the use of the word diabolic as the desperate creature sting the woman and mix up out into the rain. The peasants are being superstitious and old-fashioned, even illiterate, not having moved on in their thinking and culture. The father, meanwhile, is just the opposite in the sense that he is a rational, reductive type of a person who is unimpressed with the peasants and their mambo jumbo. Yet he resorts to using paraffin on the mother's toe, setting it alight. Not a very scientific response. The mother perseveres. She is in agony all night but finally triumphs and does not succumb to the venom of the scorpion. For all that time, she was unable to utter a word, capable of only of groans until the pain subsided, and the relief is felt gave her the power to sum her experience up. Thank goodness it was her who took the sting and not her children, for they probably would not have survived. I think you have understood the poem in a better way. Have a good day. Thank you.